Hello! Hello and welcome to the first campaign, the first session of our new campaign, To the Skies, where I gave Jay a deadline of before the stream starts for a ship name, and he shouted it out loudly a second before I had to start this.
Doubt it.
What was it called?
Meet my deadline.
Legacies of
Yeah.
Grace. Welcome to the first campaign, the first session of our new campaign.
Oh, God, mate,
where I gave Jay a deadline. I've got some feedback coming somewhere. I'm very sorry. Where is that coming from? I can't figure out. Oh, there we go. No, but anyone listening on the stream could. So the problem was, I'll fix the. So, I had our, the me side, the stream owner side of Twitch open, and for some reason it just decided to stop playing the stream at full blast in my ears while I was talking. I don't know why
It sounds painful.
It's not an ideal setup because I was just using it to update the stream information and forgotten that I had it open. But anyway, we are here now, and I even wrote a whole opening, but yeah. So this is our brand new stream for this new game. Unfortunately, like tech problems, and we had some change in our roster. As you may notice, we have 3 new and/or returning faces. We've got Daz, fabulously back. We have Georgie, who plays in our Wednesday Descent into Avernus campaign, and we have our brand newbie, the Babby, Zelda.
I'm not a Bobby.
Do you want these allegations right now, Zelda?
We can battle it out in the car park after this.
Does your date of birth happen to be with a 2?
Maybe.
Younger than my baby brother.
I'm not baby.
Tiny baby child.
No.
Anyway.
No.
Moving on. I just realised I cannot hear Mr. Fredboat. Can anyone else hear Mr. Fredboat?
Yeah, boat's ground.
Yeah.
Okay. I am on the Fredboat.
Mr. Fredboat. I muted Mr. Fredboat like a silly sausage. The year is 1284, and the world is mostly recovered from the God's War of 1034 and the Darkling Queen's invasion of Troma in 1128. Over the last 150 years, relationships with the dwarves of the valley at the heart of the mountains of Troma have made great leaps and led to the widespread use of skyships. The first, small, one-person rafts were considered the height of technology only 80 years ago, and now huge galleons take to the skies on a regular basis. But the world isn't perfect. A brewing civil war in the archipelago, tensions rising between the nobles and the peasantry of Nashtar, and strange reports from Ishtira of hundreds of ghosts walking the streets are but a few of the things going on in Inadi, as Garrus, new captain of the Legacy's Embrace, collects his new crew. Garrus, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing Garrus. I'm playing a human rogue mastermind who I very much needed to have thought of a appearance for, but didn't yet.
I did describe you as when we were discussing the art with Zelda, I did say James is probably going to be playing Mr. Humanman, who has no real distinguishing features.
Oh no, I was gonna go for some distinguishing features. It was just gonna take a bit. Like I needed to really play this one out. It's like yeah. Anyhow, well, he's a cautious one, generally speaking. Very much a strategist. Likes contingency plans. and is very much motivated by the idea of digging up and tracking down his family history, essentially, which is recorded painstakingly over many centuries in books that ended up buried all over the place, that he has got the means to track down through various ciphers and such. What else am I missing in terms of character introductions? It's been a while.
Well, I think that's pretty much it.
How
Okay.
old does he?
Oh yes, how old are you?
So he is late 20s. He probably looks older than that. In fact, yeah, such is the nature of things. He probably looks like he is aged quite badly. You would probably peg him for more late 30s.
Okay. So you have some connection to most of the rest of the players, and their characters. So there are two main locations that you could meet at. There is the Weary Road Inn, which is one of the more popular stops for an evening for travellers coming into the city. But during the days, it's fairly, like, people don't tend to go there during the days for a nice meal. It's where you sleep at night and then get to the business in the morning. So you could organise to meet there, or you could meet at the Skyship, the publicly owned Skyship departure area, the docks. Where would people prefer to meet? You could all have, like, been in the tavern, or what do we want to do?
Well,
In the interest-
definitely in the tavern.
Well, I was going to say, in the interests of including everyone. But no, tavern works. We'll get there.
So yeah, you summoned your 4 colleagues from possibly jobs past to the Weary Road Inn. It's quite a pleasant inn. It's clearly, like, had a decent amount of money poured into it. And they have a nice little stage that people can perform from, so they keep people entertained in the evenings, and plenty of tables and chairs. Only one of the tables is taken up, and it is by an old man who looks like he is either drunk or dead. You're not sure which, and probably don't want to poke him to find out. So yeah, you meet. How much of you? Yeah, you are there. The 5 of you meet at the tavern.
Oh, I see you're all here.
Garrus! It's been too long.
It's been a while, yes.
I'm playing a drow bard by the name of Varathan Despan. Goes by Vara because Varathan is too long and too mouthy. Just getting out in the world. She's quite young, just 43. So for Elvish, hardly a baby at that point. But she's getting out in the world because she just cannot deal with the island as it is at the moment. It's a little bit tumultuous. The whole gods thing that's going on. She's not wanting to be there, but she's wanting to be helpful. So she's continuing to look around and try and find out what's going on regarding gods and try and help how she can with her people from there. She knows Gareth from various bits and pieces because she's young. She likes getting involved in things that are fun and interesting, and Gareth is always fun and interesting. But at the moment, that's what she's up to. She's known enough at the inn. She entertains here regularly enough, and she's glad to be on the crew. She's not entirely sure why Gareth inquired about her, but she's happy to go along for the ride.
Okay. Who next?
I can't tell on pause, I'll do it.
Can't do it.
Shall I do
We're
the...
So
gonna see who is more ADHD. Who is the most ADHD? We've hit.
I was
Maury is the most ADHD.
So I'll be playing Quill. He's of a longer name, but at the moment just he just calls himself Quill. So he is a pallid elf, so quite pale elf. Hair kind of like long hair, but kind of tied back in kind of like a loose kind of I guess ponytail thing going on. I think you notice that if you've been random enough, he's wearing this kind of basic traveling trousers and like boots. He's got quite a nice kind of like button shirt, but he has a long like coat over the top, kind of done up around the waist to chest, kind of still saying this shirt. You'll notice he has two swords next to it on his belt. I guess he's got one rapier and then just one sword hilt, just no blades. If you've been around him a little bit, normally when he sort of goes adventuring, rather than just you have like a magical almost like breastplate appear, which is essentially the flavour for mage armor, and some braces as well.
Okay.
That's it.
Georgie isn't
I
muted,
guess-
and
I guess that leaves-
Jake is. So
I guess that leaves me. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So I'm playing a sea elf rogue swashbuckler called Lorelei Silvermoon. Lorelei is a proud pirate of the sky. She enjoys adventures of all kinds and uses her navigation and martial skills to guide and protect her crewmates that she is very protective of. Appearance-wise, she has a solid, curvy build with turquoise skin and a confident look that indicates a lot of experience in what she does. She's been in a few of Garrus's operations and has had a great time being involved and is looking forward to more.
And yeah, Talia Forvesti is a Nashtari human who, from the sort of head up, looks like what you pretty much imagine as a classical sort of scholar of the university. She's got brown hair in a bun. She's doesn't look particularly not too refined, but she also she doesn't look like she's particularly poor either. The different problem is from the neck down, she's wearing some sort of heavily modified scale armor. It appears to be glowing slightly, and she's got like a big sort of shield on her arms, and not quite certain exactly where that's come from or what that is, but she's clearly sort of is moving around okay in it. She is a artificer, more specifically an armorer.
okay. Oh, you've all met. Do you want to have a chat before you head directly to the tavern, to the ship even? Discuss what you're doing and why.
Just to confirm, so we've all been like called here to the same tavern, so we haven't really been told what we're getting in for. Just Garrus has just come out, just sort of sent us some form of communication, say, "I want you in a job." We've gone, "Okay," and we're here.
I feel so.
I think it would have been a longer term. I would have been clear it was a fairly potentially long term thing involving a lot of travelling.
Shenanigans. Do you need to get out of town for a while? I can help.
Yeah. That's.
I don't want to put upon you, Garrus, but it was an interesting invitation.
Yeah, is this a we're going to discuss on the airship? Kind of, we need to talk, or is this a we can discuss right here?
Well, I think we could discuss it here if you'd rather. I assumed you'd want to see the airship before too long, but
Are we the only crew?
yeah, for now. I think between us all here, we've covered quite a wide range of skill sets, at least certainly for the kind of jobs we'll be pulling. I am fairly confident that between us we can handle the skyship itself. If we need to pick up any extra muscle for carrying things and the like, I suppose we can do that separately, but that's not what I'm hiring you guys for.
I say we head to the ship. That's the best part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not going to. I'm not going to fight on that one. We shall be off.
Let me just. No, don't do that. And then I turn off. This one, I've switched to Streamlabs from using OBS for a while, because I just wanted to give it a go and I liked it slightly more. But that does mean that I have to get used to it, which I'm still figuring out. So I want to make you disappear. Do I? Yes, I do. Here we go. Here is your skyship. It is currently berthed. So the skyship docks is actually a big tower, which initially your ship is just about small enough that it can get pulled all the way down to the bottom of the tower to allow for larger ships to come in above. So it's currently just bobbing probably about 2 feet off the ground from the bottom of its hull. And there is one a young Kenku, who's kind of stood tending to the crystal gem, and kind of looks over and sees you, Garrus, and just caws at you in a noise that you recognise the sound of, and he nods to you, hops down off of the side of the boat, and disappears into amongst the crowds of the docks. He's clearly waiting for you to come and take possession. And it looks like this. The skyship is quite the beauty. It's a fairly small ship, comparable in world to a skiff, which is kind of the smallest skyship that actually looks like this rather than a small kind of rowboat style or the hummingbirds. It is a very fine ship still, even compared to the larger galley that is kind of high up ahead. It has 12 dedicated crew bunks with 6 dedicated crew rooms, and a bunk space in the hold. You already know, as you kind of have had a little look around, Garrus, it has a deceptive amount of cargo capacity, as there are quite a lot of hidey holes here and there, behind fake walls and hollow floors on the inside of the boat. You were, when you were given the ship, you do have a job, a fairly small job that you've been asked to complete as a token to repay the favour of the ship. But aside from that, you have no instruction on how to use your ship. It is yours to do as you will with. And yours to explore.
Is that job going to take us to a particular location?
You might explore down into the cargo hold, where let's start with a roll. Who wants to make me a perception check as you head into the cargo hold?
Yes, please.
Sounds like good fun. Let's do a perception check.
Need to
Be
remember
out in the
myself.
open.
I'm
the
good at
dice
those.
tower, it's whatever you like. We have got very cool looking dice now, which is a very exciting
Yes.
addition to.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh
What's
no!
I see everything.
All of a sudden, you see many beings across the table, dice being thrown.
I mean, the nat 20 is just representative of me actually just being shown this earlier.
So,
I know what I'm looking at.
so you.
It's not a surprise.
You walk into the main cargo hold after you show the others to like the various rooms around, and you walk into the cargo hold, and you note like a couple of the boxes, like some of the lighter boxes that are kind of on top that have got maybe like half filled with rations. It's just been shifted slightly. There's like a coil of rope that's been moved, and then as you walk in, you just hear this faint.
Hello?
And then, as the rest of you walk in, the snoring suddenly stops, and you actually see the flick of a tail in the dark of the hold before you hear the quiet voice go, "Hello."
Hello.
Do you want to describe
Gareth, you didn't
yourself?
say. You said there were 5 of us.
Yeah.
So do you want to describe yourself there?
Okay. Yeah. So I am a 4'10" tabaxi, with blue-grey fur and green eyes. Quite shy, and I'm wearing this cloak that is covering pretty much everything. But underneath, you can see the glint of some grey scale armor.
There is
Yeah.
suddenly a cat. There is suddenly a cat
Meow.
in your ship. A 4'10" cat.
You didn't have to lie about this, Gareth. If there was an extra person, you might as well have just let us know.
I did not invite this one.
I can go. I can go if you
Oh,
want.
does she come with a ship? Is this normal?
Yeah,
sure,
I don't
yes.
know. Who are you and what are you doing on this ship?
It looks warm. There was no one home. I assumed it was unoccupied. I came in and just I needed a nap. What do you expect? I need a nap.
You know it's a skyship, right?
It looked warm and cozy.
Do you normally take naps on skyships? Because they do kind of go into the air.
Yeah, that's better than a cave.
Vara approaches Luna directly and starts poking gently at him, being just like, you're definitely very kiddie. You
She just
feel...
bats away the fingers.
If any of you have encountered Tabaxi before, Tabaxi are usually like taller than most humans. Like Tabaxi are like 6 to 7 foot tall. 4'10" is especially given all of you.
Sure, asked Tabaxi.
Like all of you are elves who are taller than humans, or humans who are probably an average heighted humans. So tiny little Tabaxi.
Hello.
So, like, he seems like she's not eating properly. Garrus, where's the ship's hold?
We're in the ship's hold.
Food, where is it?
There's a box. There's like a half open crate with rations in at the top. There is food.
She obviously needs food. It's very mean of you, Garrus. You shouldn't be sending people away like this.
Hey,
I get-
I can go. I can just go.
No. If you're hungry, you should have food at the very least. Come on.
What have you got?
We should at least entertain your guest.
What food have you got?
I don't know. Garrus, what food do we have?
Food?
I didn't set up much other than just some rations. It'll be standard stuff, dried meat and the like things that
Meat?
last.
Yes.
At the very least, get a meal for the poor thing. Look at her; she's so tiny. She's very soft.
I do. You know the thing that Puss in Boots does with the big green eyes. Like it's the opposite of intimidate.
I will say most ships do have a ship's cat. That is the ship's cat is considered good luck.
Farah doesn't see the whole the eyes. She's facing Garrus and looking ever so slightly huffy.
Look.
Oh no, has Jay disappeared?
I think Jay has frozen slightly. I just
Oh,
think
yeah.
he's just having a staring competition with the cat. Which I
Just
have
not a
never
good
done
time to freeze. Is Farah still looking?
Looking at Garrus directly, like the cat is behind
Yeah.
her. She's almost in the way of the cat a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. You keep looking at me like you want to keep it, but what's your name? You're a sentient being. You're not like
Luna.
okay.
How old are you?
25. It was rude to ask a lady questions like that.
Wait, you're a lady?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, see, not just a cat. She's there to. Well, I don't know what. What exactly do you tend to do?
I hunt monsters and stuff. I like fighting giants. It's fun.
What?
What?
And you just you fight giants, and then you,
I don't like them. They're too big.
but then you go and sleep in some random ship.
Like I say, it looked warm and cozy, and I just needed a berth. I can go.
If I was
Well,
to
d-
stand
me
next to
food.
Luna now and just kind of like look at the height
Yeah.
and be like,
I can go. I don't have
you-
to stay. You know.
No. You don't have to go necessarily either.
So I can stay then.
oh, that's as close
Well-
as Gareth ever gets to inviting someone on.
Okay, I'm staying. I just curl back up in the corner.
Lorelei wants to is trying to look very nonchalant about all of this, but also secretly very much finds Luna very, very cute and wants to pet. But also is trying very hard not to.
Barbara's still looking at her, just kind of, how are you so small? How do you fight
I would
giants
say-
so small?
There is.
Do people pay you to fight giants, or do you just fight them?
I sometimes I get paid. It's nice when I get paid.
There are occasional.
I'm sure we could come
mercenary-
to.
You know about those. There are occasional like mercenary contracts out, or someone needs like troll blood or something for a potion. Troll toenails, I think, or giant toenails, are a key component of the potions of insert giant hair strength.
I think specifically potions of healing, although I may be getting my
No,
my
that's
realms confused.
that's the
Yeah.
potions of the
Giant
giant
strength.
strength. Have a toenail of the specific giant in it, imbued with the essence.
I must be getting my,
cheese.
my realm lore confused. My scrolls of Elder are getting a bit confused.
There is. I'll say you Jay will know the story very well of Captain Jurius Warden, who is a tabaxi, pirate skyship captain early on, who actually managed to take down an admiralty ship by clinging onto the side of it for a day and a night. So there is precedence. There is precedence of there being tabaxi pirates that you will have known. I wrote so much lore for this game, I have to squeeze it in. wherever I
Okay.
can.
But Luna, if you want to stay on the ship, you can, and you know what? Yeah, I'll even pay you. But-
Oh, cool.
You don't have to work like any of the others, right?
Oh, okay.
But I was going to side up to Gareth. So Gareth, about this contract of employment that you got for
Yeah.
Luna, I think we could just add a little addendum in there, just like making it so that she needs to be pet at least once a day by someone from the crew.
No, this is not necessary. I'm happy to sign the
Yeah.
contract. You don't need to. You don't need to. Pets. What are those?
Yes, that's so cute.
They then twitch and like they're like flicking around and listening to different things.
Let's. Look, if you want to agree to that and in separate terms, that's fine. But I'm not going to enforce anything. That would be really weird.
No, that's a good point, Gareth. You make an excellent point.
Similarly, it is noted that there are 6 rooms, which means nobody necessarily has to bunk together unless anyone particularly wants to. So
So I don't have to sleep in the hold.
no, you can have a room. That's one of the
I
perks of
get
being
a
on the crew.
room. Oh yeah, score.
You can also call yourself part of the crew.
Part of the. Do I get a name badge with that?
I don't think any
Probably
of
best
Garrus's jobs
not
have
to.
ever had name tags.
I want
I
a
don't-
name tag though.
The majority of us don't use our full names for anything.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Luna, I'm Vara. I'm gonna go and start unloading. Garrus, you'll see me later probably. And Vara's just gonna head
Okay.
off because she's like, everything's already been decided with Luna, and she's like, I don't get pets.
You need to complete her companion quest before you can pet her.
Speedrun! Speedrun!
Lorelei's going to encourage Luna to join her in one of the crew bunks to help get settled.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is part of the contract. I just sort of like dangle the piece of paper in front of me and look at it.
Let's go get you settled, Luna.
Okay.
So now we have the full
Hello.
Where's
crew.
the
Yeah.
Where's the engine? Having completely ignored most of that conversation.
I'll
So
take you to it.
the sort of the thing comparable to an engine is the steam power pumps at the back that feed the propellers. That kind of, when there's no wind, you can use the propellers to kind of push you forward, and there are these kind of fist-sized red crystals that when you sort of smash them against a piece of coal, get incredibly hot, incredibly fast. So they're able to power the thing. You just need to keep it topped up with those rocks and with water, and it powers. They haven't gotten to like full like massive engine steam power yet. It's predominantly like a little. We know that steam make thing go round, is the main point they're at this point, and there is also the crystal. The area that the crystal is housed. The closest I could get to on currently on Dungeon Alchemist. The next thing they're coming out with in February next year is going to have ships, apparently, so there might be sky ships and easier ways of making sky ships, but this was like an amalgamation of someone worked really hard shoving loads of assets together, and then I tweaked it. But essentially there is a round cage with a kind of a covering that is pulled over partly, and they have these sky crystals, just a collection of sky crystals at the bottom of this kind of basin, all of them like just single, like they're all facing up. You know that like the being exposed to sunlight is what gives it the lift, and it's also what like actually degrades the crystals, so you have to replace them. So if you keep it covered and you don't fly very high or very quickly, then you can make the crystals last longer, but you'd be having to fly very low and very slow for quite a while. But those are the two kind of parts of the kind of way that the ship is up and goes forward, along with obviously the sails, which add a lot to that. Yeah, there are a few different. It would be the steam engine at the back for the propellers, the crystal at the helm itself, and then the ballista are the main things that you'd be wanting to do while you're flying, especially in combat. But there's also the sails that you might want to tweak and use to do like quicker turns, but you'd have to do rolls for that and stuff like that. But that's where the kind of the two sections of the engines are. It is all like everything is sparkling. Like this isn't like a hand-me-down ship. This is brand new. It's very sleek compared to a lot of the other skiffs. You think it could probably go a little bit further, maybe a little bit faster, possibly. But it's a very nice ship. The Legacy's Embrace. Is the Legacy's Embrace?
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. I can remember things. There we go. Pop that back in the centre. So yeah, you're shown to the steam bit. Is there anything you'd like to do at the steam bit?
We're spending a lot of time getting familiar with that and the other part of the lift crystals, sky crystals as well. That's a more interesting thing to her rather than dealing with the stowaway / new crew member. So, which she didn't really have much opinion on, except for just making sure that it wasn't a child, because like kidnapping a child is not really. I mean, maybe it'd be okay, but it seems a bit weird.
No, she is. I will say she's definitely 25. You are not kidnapping a child who is just lying. If it had been a child tabaxi who was lying, I would have made a roll happen at least. It's just a weirdly small tabaxi. Okay, so we've got Talia in the engine bit. Is anyone else doing anything? Would anyone else like to talk about stuff? Or do you want to go straight into your first job?
No, Vara's not got anything to do.
So,
Okay.
Luna, have
No,
you
I
ever
think-
been on a skyship voyage before?
I managed to hitch a ride on one before. That's how I got here. But apart from that that one was a bit rusty. This one's nice. I like this one.
Were you working on that ship, or were you a stowaway on that one too?
We don't need to do. Where's my lawyer?
We're all friends here. No.
Yeah, I stowed away. You know, with these big old eyes of mine, I can get on anything.
Well, how would you like to feel a little more useful on this ship? You can join me up near the helm. I'll be navigating.
That would be really cool.
I can
I
show you.
think.
I can show you the ropes, as it were. Excuse the pun.
Aha. That would be excellent.
Wonderful.
Okay. With people getting set to do different things and getting used to the different bits and pieces. Jay, your benefactor gave you the information on this job. There are a number of crates, some cargo that he needs moving from a warehouse in the trade district, and needs it taking to the small town of Brights, which is it's just at the edge of your ship's range, at about 70 miles away.
Okay. Is there anything that we would consider to be special handling instructions, like it's hot cargo, you shouldn't?
There has been
people
a certain
look at
nod
it.
to that. There has been a certain nod to that, indeed. It is it is quite rare. Like Brights it was an old fishing village up on the north coast until there was an attack of the Idnians. Oh, Jay is frozen. I don't know if Jay can hear me.
He
Can
does
Jay hear me?
seem a little.
He really needs to get the camera.
He's gone.
Lost the ages of time.
Oh, he's properly gone. The internet may have gone down.
We are without a captain.
No. The freeze frame is also perfect.
It looks like he's getting up to leave.
No.
Just his soul has left the building. So we could describe what you're setting up your rooms like on the ship.
No.
So each one, there is sort of like, there's both like hooks that you can hook in a hammock, which are provided, or like an actual bed, depending on which one you'd be more comfortable with, in each of the bunk rooms. The beds are like built in, but there is enough for like if you wanted to have a bed and a hammock in the same room, you could manage that.
That's exactly what Vara has done. She's using the hammock to be able to store her various shit. Most of that is clothes and accessories that are all in the hammock, and she's making the oh no!
We have lost him, and every
official.
frame has been ruined.
Oh, I can fix this, you see.
We've been fractalized across time.
Ah.
Now,
I'm Gareth now.
now only Morrigan is wrong.
You are now Garrus, Mori.
Wait, the power. I'm the captain.
The new captain.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew. So yeah.
Where did you say we were going on our first mission?
Brights, which is on the north coast
Yes.
of Tromar. You can
Old
bring
fishing
that
village,
up.
sacked by the Ignians when they invaded. Oh,
Oh, oh.
go back, go back, go back.
Sorry about that.
Yay.
He lives.
Captain!
You return.
Okay,
Um,
was I about to tell us to set course for somewhere?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, well, set course for wherever it was I was about to say to set course for, because I don't think you... Yeah, it's a bit...
Right, let me bring up
Right.
the world map and show it off. I've got the circle. Let me bring it up on here properly. So I set it.
I've
up
had
so
the
I
world
can
map up for a
do
while.
that.
Trying to keep
World
in track.
map.
So this big, the big blue circle, is your current approximate range. So you can hit quite a lot of the area.
How long does it take to go that far?
It will take you. There was some maths that I knew. That I had read the maths. It's well, it can travel. It can travel 100 feet in 6 seconds. There's a way to extrapolate like miles per hour from that. I know that it's been written down somewhere in one of the things. They're one of the places that I'm kind of mathsing. But
It's about 2/3. So what do you say? 100 feet per 6 seconds.
yes, would be
Be about 16 feet per second, which would be about 12 miles per hour.
12 miles per hour. Okay, so it will probably take you around 7 hours, maybe between 6 and 7 hours, approximately. The same journey on land would take multiple days. I think at least 2 days. It's substantially faster.
Yes, makes sense.
There are you know which of the warehouses it is in the trade district. The trade district it's the dodgy district. It used to be slightly larger, and then the Walden Trading Company and the Admiralty came in and built a new sky dock there for themselves. But there's the Thieves Guild did not lessen even with that introduction. So the trade district is it's where hot goods get moved from usually, or to. And you have there is an orc contact in Brights that you are going to be handing off to. So we can go through the. It actually makes more sense if you just accepted it already. I wanted to give it as an option you didn't have to take. But if you were, the cargo can
What's the
already
job?
have been, the cargo can have already been loaded when the ship was presented to you, so we don't have to do that faffing about.
Us, faff, never.
Is there anything that anyone wants to do in Nashtar before you leave for the day?
So,
I don't think of anything.
Nothing is
I'm-
coming to mind.
we did all preparation. We're accepted what we're doing.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
ready to go.
We prepped in
Um,
advance, so we're good, I think.
Yeah, then. So, who is going to be in charge of the crystal and making sure that it's not something you need to tend to constantly, but it's the kind of thing that if you want a lot of rise, you'll need to make sure that it's uncovered and that someone is there to keep an eye on it closely enough.
Yeah, I can do it. It's no problem.
That one, that does not require a roll because it's literally just moving a thing. So we've got. Are you taking the helm, Jay, or is your navigator taking the helm?
Well, I mean, it's interesting that so I'm capable of navigating, but I'm not good with skyships, so I don't
I'm
have
capable of
them.
navigating, and I'm good with skyships.
So you should probably take the helm. I can navigate.
All right.
Would probably be the way, but yeah, we've got redundancies available in skills, so it's like
And,
people could theoretically do different things.
And Luna, as you are sort of in the vicinity, can be directed to sails, possibly alongside
Yeah.
Vara, with Talia on the propellers. So
Just checking, how tall am I compared to the balustrade of the ship?
you can see over.
Just about see over with like my little paws over the
It's
edge.
just the eyes.
You can just like as you're walking along, just your ears. Just...
Yeah.
I've got that shot in my head now. It's fucking glorious.
So, to get the sails ship shape, you want to roll me a dexterity check, Zelda.
Yeah.
I'll say with advantage because you'll have the more experienced skyship person directing you. So
Okay.
to do that, Zelda, you want to open up your character sheet,
Open up my character sheet.
go onto the main page, and then
Main.
on Fantasy Grounds itself, down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's like a 0 modifier, and then it says ADV and DIS, and there are some numbers next to them. Can you see that?
Oh goodness. Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Oh, advantage and disadvantage. Yeah.
So you want to click on the advantage button,
Click on advantage button.
and then you want to roll me a dexterity check. So that'll be on your front page. There's your nice high dex. You can click and drag that 19 into the chat box, and it will roll the dice for you.
Okay. Hold on.
While
Whoa.
Zelda's processing that, do
Number into the chat box.
drag the 19 into the chat box,
Okay.
and then let go. There you go. Oh dear.
That was awful. Two twos.
Twos.
I mean,
Is
this
that
is
right
not a
there?
long
Actually-
way down, and
So you didn't actually roll with advantage. You rolled with double d20s for some reason. I thought. Oh no, it did. It just.
it did do the
says-
advantage. It just dropped the 2.
It just.
It's
It also.
two
It
Ds,
it
yeah.
says. It just says. G20
It says plus, but
plus
it's not.
D20, but it's not. That's what we've done it before like that accidentally. But yeah. So you guys, the two of you, Garrus and Lorelei, two of you are at the helm. Jay, you've got your charts out to make sure that you're going in the right direction, and you've got your hands on the wheel. You're just like calling gently out directions to Luna, who manages to just get themselves kind of tied up in like this knot of
Fumbling.
rope. Like you imagine a cat like playing with a ball of
Yep.
string. Just like it's like wrapped around her torso, and she's got like one like bit up by her leg, and she's just like looking at you all like, oh,
Help.
Help.
like every time the looker decides to nest on my era because it's heated and gets trapped, falling between the slats of it.
No.
Like, but before we do the rescue, we have a navigation roll and roll from the helm as well.
Okay.
So,
What
How do I
what
do
stat
that?
are you taking
would
navigators
probably say-
tools on?
Whiz?
I would probably say either wisdom or intelligence. Wisdom, I think, yeah.
Wisdom,
I'll put
please.
it on wisdom then. I had it on intelligence,
So
so
the
wisdom
wisdom-
is a slight bonus.
Wisdom with your proficiency, right?
Yeah.
Because you're proficient in them. And we'll say for the actual ship, that'll be For the actual steering of the ship would be a dexterity plus your proficiency bonus. Just a
That is definitely
general-
what you want a rogue on.
Yeah, I can do a dex plus proficiency. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Okay, navigating.
Steering. Oh, I got on that one.
Oof.
This is going so well.
So
We
kind
don't
of-
move.
You're like quite concerned with like what's going on with Luna. Like you're just sort of watching it, and you're just sort of absent-mindedly like turning the wheel, and just is like Garrus is just kind of looking at you like, what's happening? We're like turning 180 degrees rather than going up at this point.
Bidding.
But with an 18, I'll say with Garrus's 18, Garrus does manage to kind of, you almost crash back into the skyship dock because like you're also like, look at the cat playing with the string, but it's a giant cat and a big bit of rope. Like, you're so distracted, and Garrus just at the last minute manages to reach over and just pull the wheel the other way, so you just twist away. Oh, we've briefly lost Lorelai. You managed to like pull it, so you're turning away, and I will say, even with the nat 1, there was a very near crash, and with the 18, pulled it back.
We're all good. We're all good. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
What a fancy new ship we have.
I mean, I'm currently frozen on the.
I got this. I
If
promise.
anything would have happened to it.
I promise that won't happen again. Please don't judge me based on that. I was I was distracted by the very cute little cat over there, okay? And I don't think I can be blamed for that.
By the way,
I
Kate,
think
I
we'll
think
get
the
it.
icons on the stream are frozen.
Yeah, I'm just fixing that now.
Lovely.
Save the cat, please.
Meow. Please help me.
No, like the first roll of the game, it's a nat 1.
Yeah, well, it's just
really?
getting
Yeah,
out
no
of the
one.
way early.
So it cost me a natural 20 on that, and a natural 1 later.
Yeah, perfect. No notes.
Right.
Okay, I think you're all fixed now. You can move around.
Right.
again.
How best should I come and save the cat? Do we think an acrobatics roll? Do you think using mage hand?
Animal
Take roll-
handling?
Thank you for that. That was perfect.
Just like the silence from Zay. Silence from Zelda speaks volumes.
I will. Cade, please help.
I don't know how. I don't know. Okay, so you just start. The ship starts raising up as you manage to like get out of the way of the galley that's also docked, and you are. Just roll me a d20, Quill. Just nice casual
Oh.
d20.
Oh no.
I'm just saying everything else seems to have gone wrong, so let's just make sure. Okay,
That's a 4.
it's.
But it wasn't like a check, it was just a general roll, it was fine.
It's you go. It's
Vibe check.
slow, like because you're really concerned about what is happening behind you, as you start to lift it open. Like there's like the ship kind of goes like up, and then it stops for a bit, and then it goes up again, and then it's like quite a jaggedy up as you're starting to head off. So it's like everyone's a little bit shaken.
Wait,
The
Gary's
sails are not in the right direction.
I thought the ship's cat was for luck.
like, Gareth, where'd you get this ship from?
There's nothing wrong with the ship. We just need to get used to it.
Talion's
I was
back in
like-
the engine area. I've got no idea what's going on. Just sort of
So-
swinging around, shuttling upwards.
Engine
You hit-
backfires.
So you'll wait. There's like it's essentially like a long tube, kind of basically tin cans on a string, between you and the helm. So like you can read like when the helm is ready for forward propulsion, you are able to call down and let them know. Right now, would not advise forward motion
No.
because you have no control of your direction right this second.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a cat who is causing problems. So, I will say, with like, as you're starting to raise it, I'm actually going to say make me a dexterity check. Maybe a dexterity check, Vara. Vara?
Yes. Sorry, I'm here. Brain decided to lose
You
the
make
plot. Yes.
a dexterity check to see if
A
you are
dex-
able to rescue your wonderful companion.
Oh,
Finally,
finally a good roll.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, it's like it's trivial. Like you literally just like you pull one loop through another loop, and the whole thing just goes. And you're able
There you
to.
go,
I'll
Lena.
say with a 23, you are able to get the sails kind of right and face in the right direction, and like under
I
the
back off
control
and
of the
just
ship.
crush myself down.
I'm currently like on the top of the sails, like standing quite triumphantly with heroic stance.
I've got my ears flat back, looking up, kind of ashamed, like, what have I done?
I just like this image of you just landing, just like on all four paws, just looking like.
So, after your little snafu, I'm not going to make you all roll again, but you are going to be rolling next time.
Oh no.
As you manage to like suddenly like you all like pull together finally, kind of with Vara, who's barely ever been on a skyship before, and Garrus kind of pointing out everything that everyone needs to do on the deck. You're able to like the lift gets smooth, and you manage to swing round and go into the correct direction, and you're able to cool down and ask for more forward propulsion from the propellers, and you take off. Your first time flying. And I think that is a good point for us to take our break before we head into the next section. So we'll be back in 20 minutes. Everyone go hydrate, stretch your legs, go for a wee, whatever you need to do, and we shall return shortly. Okay. I will start the countdown. There we go.
We didn't crash, you know. It was a bit of a short.
We can
campaign.
we
I
can
was
get
like,
to
if
crashing
In
then.
the first session.
If that had been not your first time taking the ship out and the brand new beginning of a campaign, I probably would have had you guys crash.
I do love the idea that there might be explosives on the ship, so when it just crash, it
Right.
explodes. You'd be like, well, fuck. We gotta steal
End
the
of the
ship.
campaign,
cargo.
episode 1. Goodbye.
We are now definitely sky pirates because we're gonna steal a ship.
I'm going to go get hydration.
Yeah, I'm gonna come
I'm
stuff
gonna go
back in
for
Georgie,
nicotine.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
go get Squish.
I have Squish.
Good. Right, I'll be back in a mo.
Oh, back on as well.
I only recently worked out how to
Headphones
get
coming
the
off,
All right.
but I shall return before the end of the break. Ah. Georgie Podgy!
Hello.
Hey, come on, let's go, Louise. No, you're in your cozy nest. You don't want to go, Louise. Okay. Louie. Where your brother is. Bobo. I didn't turn the audio back on, so all of that is null and void, and no one else heard it. But this is George.
So
This
the
is
stream just got the
It's
dog thrust
George!
upon
Yeah.
them.
The dog thrust upon them in silence. This is George. He is the best and most beautiful boy. He's an absolute tart for having his belly rubbed.
He rolls our dice for us.
He's the reason for the nat 1 earlier.
Yeah.
He's the independent adjudicator that confirms all rolls for Fantasy Grounds. And that is why when we roll bad, it's because he didn't get to eat my dinner.
Yeah, this tracks.
This is very particular about getting to eat my dinner. Anyway, moving on. So you've managed to get up in the air, and you are sailing along reasonably well at this point. You've pulled together as a crew to a degree.
Yay!
And you've been able to get Quill's been able to help with the ropes for the sails, while also keeping an eye on the crystals, making sure that they're uncovered enough to get the right altitude and everything. And you head out. It's probably about 4-5 hours later that you are getting close to the Fort Nerames. Which is quite a large, imposing fort, not quite on the cliff's edge of the northern the northern ocean, not quite there, but close to it, overlooking a couple of small, tiny little fishing villages, and then the considerably larger Brightes. It is. When I say considerably larger, it's considerably larger than the tiny fishing villages. It's barely a town, but they do have a kind of rickety skyship dock. It is it's suitable to attach to, and you're able to transport you're able to transport the cargo down. Do you do that straight away, or do you want to go and contact your person first? What do you want to do?
Is there anyone that's going to check cargo out when we move it?
You see, there's someone that seems to be like in charge of the dock. And as you've pulled up, and one of the dock hands has kind of roped the ship on and pulled it closer, he does sort of go, so what are you here for? He's kind of an older, kind of looks like he spent a lot of time either at sea or in the air, quite haggard, and he's got a clipboard, and is kind of looking at you like, are you expected? Have you got a berth paid for here?
Right. Yes. So I'll pull out some documents I prepared earlier, in a sense, which will be I do have forgery skill. This is a.
I was going to say you probably you wouldn't have just been thrown out, but we'll go with the forgery. Roll for
Why not?
forgery.
Charisma or dexterity?
We'll go with charisma, because you're trying to. It's like it's not the kind of thing that you're just trying to perfectly copy. This is you're trying to blag your way in. So
yeah. See, I imagine the calligrapher's tools are for dexterity, which I also have,
Yeah.
but.
This is very much about going. Like, a forgery would be very much like copying someone else's stuff, which this is. Not bad. Yeah. Let's just see on the off chance.
Is it worth Vara standing next to Garrus and being a distracting presence? No?
No, I think you're all good. So he looks over the documents, and you can see he's got a good eye. And he kind of peers at one of them and kind of lifts a bit of a stamp up, but it did pretty well, and he kind of nods and is like, we didn't have you on the books, probably a problem with the admin. Are you bringing to sell, or is this a pre-organised trade?
It's pre-organised.
That means it is the other side's tax problem, so I do not have to worry about it. Could you just sign here to say that you are docked at the docks?
Yep.
And he kind of shakes it. It's like, yep. Gotta make sure everything's, good. And like, there are docks for up to 5 skyships on this kind of extended platform that then goes down into like one central spire, and you are the only ship there. It looks quite it's quite in disrepair. It's not looking great, and like there are only like 3 people there, and it looks like they're mostly playing a game of cards that they've just had interrupted by your arrival. So they're quite they have no problem, like, just, we have to do the bare minimum that we keep this job and then we can get back to playing cards kind of vibe that we're getting from them. So you're able to get down perfectly easily, and they seem to just go back to their game and kind of leave you to it. So you're free to either unload or go and find your contacts. Hello, what do you want?
It would probably be ideal to find the contact first before we move everything off.
Alright. How do we find this contact then?
You've been given the name of the one small. It's not. It's like a village pub. It's not like an inn or a tavern. It's where the old fishermen go to drink in an evening. It's called the Slippery Eel, and you are invited. You are told, like, that's probably where he's going to be, especially in the evenings when he's come back from work. It's not hard to find. It's one of the few buildings still in decent nick in this town. It has been burnt down about 4 times in its history, so it is, and it looks it. But
Who's looking after the ship while we're gone?
That is the question.
I'm the ship's cat. I can stay with this ship.
That's okay. Yeah.
I won't touch any of the
Thoughts?
ropes, I promise.
I'm happy to look after the ship.
Well, anyone who wants to stay behind is quite welcome to. It would be quite bad if we managed to lose the cargo before we delivered it for the first job.
Don't worry, I got this.
I hunker down on the top deck.
I guess you've got me, Garrus.
Yeah, I'll come.
Talia is still deep in the engines, speaking to no one.
Yeah, probably.
People
I mean,
Blessing
Yeah,
with blessing
Probably
with
it.
holy oils and speaking machine can't.
Well, as an illegal build, so I'm just switching out the feet. I looked at it I've been adding things from the wiki, and I opened up on Hepsico. Like, oh, prerequisites. Right. Okay.
It's like, oh no.
This is an entire rejig.
Yeah, doesn't change that much, but it does mean I need to work out if I can have Beige Hand or if I need to.
I see.
While you're
Right.
communing with the artificer gods, so it'll be the talky people, our bard, our blade singer, and our talky mastermind. Okay. So yeah, approaching the tavern, it looks in decent nick compared to most of the rest of the buildings around. Like, it's clearly been patched up. It is, even though it by this time it's probably kind of late afternoon, early evening kind of time, and it's busy. There are a lot of folk kind of everywhere, and you see, like, this town is there are a handful of orcs in Nashtar. Most of them in the trade district. So you've seen orcs in Troma. This town it's like the only town that the orcs kind of stayed in. after invading. In like probably about, I think it's about 700-800 years ago at this point. But a lot of them stayed there and they rebuilt the town, and then the humans came and tried to take it back off them, and there's been the site of a lot of contention for a while. But it is now a very multicultural little town where there's a pretty even split between orcs, goblins, humans, and half-elves. And it is a weird mix of folk to kind of see kind of all together in this kind of very tense little town. But you do you look around, and there's sat at one of the tables, you see a rough description of the contact was an orc with kind of long tangled hair and a massive scar that took up a huge chunk of his face.
No, sorry, I'm still going. Please carry on.
And he seems to be sat with one other person drinking, and they're talking. They doesn't seem like a private conversation. They seem to be talking quite loudly and happily and drunkenly.
Fair enough. Do we have a name or like code word or anything?
They're called Urud. And they were just kind of mentioning your mutual friend is the best way to go. Daz, what do you want to do?
I was going to say, just before we go off the ship, can I say I've cast mage armor? I'm just paranoid.
Just in case.
Just in case.
I'm just going to...
On the way, Vara's also going to ask Gareth, like, so Gareth, should we...
Yep.
Do you want to take the lead on this one? Do you want to just let it go? Should we just kind of, like, fight it out? Like, what's the plan here?
I don't think they're going to run into any particular trouble on this one. It's a simple delivery job.
Yeah, okie dokie.
If you want to do some negotiating, this isn't a paid up front kind of deal, is it? As far as we know.
So you will be getting it's a small amount that you will be getting. You're predominantly getting the sky shards that you need to travel on, and a discretionary amount of money. But this is kind of on behalf of your benefactor.
Yeah. And
kind of, this is more you're getting a tip rather than being paid.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just assuming that the money will have changed hands in Nashtar essentially, or
pretty much.
It will have gone to. It will. Yeah. Anyhow. So. I mean, we might be able to eke a bit extra out if you want to go down that route, Vara.
I mean, I don't want to cause any trouble. I remember the last time that I tried to do the negotiating.
I'm sure it'll be fine. The other thing is we might be able to pick up some more work somehow from around here.
Oh yeah. I'll have a nosy about the tavern while doing the talkies.
But yes, I would tend to say buyers of this kind of good tend to know people, because unless it's for personal use, but you don't import this much.
Okay, guys. Farrell's learned not to question, because if she asks, "What are we transporting?" Gareth will just go, "Well, this and that," and she's just fine.
Look, it's not bad stuff to transport as long as you don't know what it is. If you don't know what it is, it's fine.
It's exactly her opinion.
Well, yeah, and what I said is probably true of anything, just as a general note.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, probably not for personal use. He's got to be intending to do something with it that involves more people.
It's fine. It's not going to be a problem.
It's just making me think of Gisley at Empire, who buys a ridiculous amount of drugs and then hands them out for free and uses them for personal use. Like had to basically broke the laminator at Empire because he had so many potions made.
And got told off.
got told off, or like I have a feeling that's why they stopped the Axu drug traders coming, because they were fed
Yeah.
up. They were
They're
fed
like,
up
if
of
we
having to
keep this
print
going-
400 doses of like imaginary recreational doses
Stop.
of drugs.
And then they moved it to the yeah. Anyway, getting off topic.
Yeah. Yes, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of goods, probably not for personal use. So he kind of does look over, and you can definitely tell there are a lot of eyes on you all. Like, you get the feeling like the rumor has already spread to you all of you all being there, and you need to make sure, like, keep an eye out, because like people are properly staring at you, and like it's definitely a, we don't get skyships here very often.
Yeah.
So it's the talk of the town. So you have a
Okay.
lot of eyes on you.
Well, if that's the case, Vara, one of us should probably distract everyone. We are meeting in an inn here.
Oh, distraction. I could do distraction.
Do you want to handle the talking or the distraction? I'll give you the choice.
I definitely think she should be doing the distraction.
Go for it.
'Cause
Okay.
we're meeting in an inn, and you have you have a bard on hand to be able to tell a rowdy story and get some japes going.
I can
There is-
I can do the
dear.
bard thing as
Oh,
well.
dear.
Either of us are capable of the bard thing.
Maybe the person that is a bard could have a go at the
Like someone has professional credentials.
bard.
At least as good as you.
Not well, but
This is you, like, morning cove.
Blade singers do get into proficiency. I can play a lute.
I've got a lute, and I can also play a lute, but you
I
can
don't-
borrow it.
I don't have a lute.
I have a viol. I know, right?
Fancy new instrument.
So yeah, we're in the tavern.
Yep.
Vara's going to peel off.
There
To
isn't
ask
so much
permission.
as, there's not so much a stage or anything, but you could like hop up on a table.
I think
Do
she's
it,
going to
do
ask
it, do
permission
it.
from the bar staff first. She's learned
Okay.
to do this. Where she's going to say like,
It's quite a
D-
buff-looking orcish woman stood behind the bar, like just rubbing grease around the inside of a cup with a little rag.
yeah, seems like the place.
No, don't drink here.
She just pops up, chipper as anything. It's like, hello, I'm a bard. I was wondering if it would be okay to play for you and your patrons.
I'm not going to be able to pay you.
I mean, I'll take tips. That's fine. I've got a couple of rowdy songs, and I thought it might liven the place up a little.
Yeah, all right then. She kind of points to like three people and calls on. You three, shift out the way. Move the chairs. Move the table. And it's like, well, there's a sort of amount of grumbling from the people that have been displaced. They shift out the way, and there's kind of just a space that you're able to perform in.
Vara doesn't wait for anything. She jumps into the space immediately and it starts like tuning up and it's just like let's see what we can get out of the old thing.
Okay.
She goes. So it's just performance roll or just performance?
Yes, it'll be a performance check for me.
I
So
see me
you
at
sort of-
24.
You start tuning up, and there's like you get a few eyes on you, and like obviously the disgruntled, displaced people are kind of staring at you, and then you start to play, and it is just like everyone's eyes are suddenly on you. The rest of the group are momentarily distracted that are with you. Like Garrus and Quail are like, huh, as you play an absolutely gorgeous melody that has every single person staring at you, like enraptured. As this happens, you do manage to pull yourselves away. You know you have a job to do. This is the distraction for everyone else, not for you guys. So you do manage to you go and slide in the open seat next to Urud, your contact. And he kind of just looks at you briefly, looks away from Vara performing.
Hey, we were sent by a mutual friend. I imagine you heard we were in town.
How is the old crow?
Seemed all right last saw him.
Yeah, he said you'd be delivering some goods.
Where do you want them?
Unloaded at the docks, all right. One of the lads there is under my pay, and he'll make sure they're put where they need to be.
Okay, that works all right.
I've got the sky crystals you're gonna need. They're not here. I'll make sure they get put on your ship before the end of the night.
Sounds good to me.
Anything else you're requiring of me?
Not particularly. How's business?
It's a lot of people moving north. It's been speeding up recently. You can definitely get some work if you headed down south. Some of the smaller towns and villages are looking for some people being moved north. Apparently, people are finally sick of the Admiralty. Only took them how long to realise it?
Yeah, well,
Just so long as they don't decide to elbow in on it, although I don't see how them highfalutin types would like this place.
well, keep an eye out. If people are moving north, then I don't really know what they're gonna do down south. Essentially, just keep that in mind. They're inevitably going to want to take more control of more area just to make up for the losses.
Just hoping Nashtar doesn't keep bending the knee to him. Those noble councils are liking the money off the Walden folk. But
Don't get me started on the noble councils.
well, suppose there is one job I could sort you out with.
Go on.
And kind of takes a look over the room, and like their compatriot has backed away to go and listen to the music more closely.
Yeah.
Like you're in a sheltered enough kind of corner. Make me a persuasion check.
It's not my preferred charisma skill, but it is a charisma skill that I have proficiency in.
Yeah. Well, technically there's two. And there's one got some different merchandise. Needs moving over to Exton. Is going down for the mines. So not hot in terms of where it's come from, but it's hot in terms of what it is. I don't much like moving explosives around the continent.
Makes sense.
So that one I do understand if that is a bit out of your wheelhouse. And then there's another job, and he kind of leans in quite close to that. There's this lordling. Apparently his dad's just pegged it. His mum left the estate a while ago. He's come up north because apparently he was meant to work for the Admiralty and then changed his mind. So he's keeping out of there, leaving their estate empty. no staff, no security. If I were to give you more details, like exactly where that estate is, 60-40 split in your favour?
Try 70-30. I mean, we'd be doing the work there, and that depends on it being empty.
Yeah, we'll say no. I'm willing. 30-70. I'm willing. If it is inhabited in any way, I'm willing to go down to 20.
That sounds reasonable.
Gives you a chance to recoup any losses you take in the mean. I'll make sure to bring over the details when I bring over the Sky Shards this evening. Are you staying in the town overnight, or are you turning around and heading straight back? Or straight on to Exton. Suppose you could shift quickly.
Well, we might as well stay a night.
I would
Gives us
sleep
more
on
time.
the ship if I were you.
That's the plan.
Right then, I will see you around. That one of your crew?
Yeah.
Smart work. And it goes back to nursing his drink. At the end of your performance, you receive... Won't let me add extra dice with this mouse pad, so I might roll it. I'll just roll it on this one. You receive in total 20 silver pieces.
Ooh, look at that.
From an assortment of different folks passing a hat around. And you also get several drinks. Several drinks brought for you all at the same time.
Vara's going to drop down after a little bit hot and bothered, like she's wafting her big hat to herself. Just like, whew, overdid that a little bit there. And just like she puts a drink in front of Quill and Gareth. It's like, look, they brought us drinks!
Well, I'm not going to turn that down.
Well, I've bought you drinks, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, like, there's too many drinks for me to buy, and it's just they all bought one. It's our drinks. It's our drinks.
You've clearly been practicing.
Well, Gareth, I happen to be a little bit more busy than you occasionally. It's like I'm patron of the arts. If I don't, I just learning my craft and going all about the place. That and it'll finally calm Quill down with his snootiness. Relax a little.
You see? Drinks his drink, like, what?
Don't worry, Quill. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. I'm sure you'll calm down eventually. Just need another few hundred years.
I don't know where this is coming from. I'm just walking to a bar, you guys.
I love the fact that I now have a party big enough for the different kinds of elves and their feelings towards each other. Can actually be relevant.
I reckon only 200 years old.
Have you not necessarily read some of the lore, Daz, about drows and their feelings towards?
This is more personal to you if you're playing a drow information that I give out. But yes, there are the creation of the elves were all interesting, complicated, and fraught. And the Pallid Elves are the newest addition to the extended family of elves. And some of the drow were slightly grumpy about that fact.
You definitely caused some problems, let's put it that way.
I feel like you can't blame being created by the gods, alright? I don't have a choice of that. I don't wish to be bored, alright?
Well, at the very least, you're here now, so we should at least share a drink.
Much as that.
We have a drink or two and relax. Oh, did we not mention to the guys on the ship that it's all good and that people are coming to take the cargo?
Oh, we're heading back to the ship shortly. We'll need to bring the cargo down, and we're sleeping on the ship, so...
Okie dokie. Right. Oh. I could probably go for another quick performance if we need to, but I think this has been a fairly good venture. Did you get what you needed, by the way, Gareth?
Yes, we got a bit of work.
Oh, good. What are we doing?
Couple of jobs. I'll tell you more back in the ship.
Oh, fine. It's one of those. Come on then.
It's as a pirate, one of those piratey things that those pirates do sometimes. That's right.
Vara's not a pirate.
Yes.
She's just helping out. She's just helping out a good friend.
Well, if you want to grab any food to go, then do. Otherwise, yeah, rations are probably fine. It's just take your pick while you can.
I mean, it might be worth getting some of the fresh fish on the market if there's any knocking around, just to try and get something that's not the dried meats.
Yeah.
I've got 20 silvers knocking around in my patch, and we might as well make a nice meal of it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Didn't know you could cook.
Oh, I can't cook. I thought you were cooking.
No.
Well, can you cook?
Not well. Haven't given myself food poisoning yet, though.
I mean, neither.
Can't go wrong with fish, right?
I love the idea that
Wait, there's other people on the ship. I'm sure one of them can cook,
Someone
right?
will, right?
Someone's
Okay.
got to know.
Yeah,
love the
I
idea
guess in the worst case,
that your first member of
in the
crew
worst-
that you have to hire is a chef.
We need our own personalised meals each every night. It's going to be quite a thing.
yeah. But look, if you buy a load of fish, the absolute worst case, if nobody can cook, is that Luna can have all of the fish.
I was just
Oh,
thinking
yes,
that.
of course.
You felt
There's
like
no harm in this.
a tasty disturbance in the force.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a case of they're gonna go to the fish market, the market in general, get some barrels of something nice to drink and some bits and pieces of fresh food to take on, so they can have like a proper crew meal.
Okay, you were able to get fish. There are some vegetables and things that you're able to buy. It does take you a little bit to go through them and make sure that none of them are rotten or have creatures in them. And you managed to purchase some decent looking vegetables. So the kinds of barrels that they are selling in this town are barrels of ale and barrels of grog.
Ale.
Okay.
Ale.
I think for a nice slap up meal for the crew and 1 or 2 barrels of ale.
How many gallons go in the barrel?
I don't know. A lot, probably.
Just a barrel. She's not looking to do
Just a
a
barrel.
raucous party. It's just a barrel.
I'd probably say I'd put that at probably 5 gold. For all of that. For a full fucking barrel of alcohol in a shitty town where
I'm
you're trying to buy
paying for it.
vegetables.
It's fine. It's fine.
Honestly, I
Barrel
think the
of oil
vegetables
contains 42 gallons.
The vegetables going to be more complicated.
the vegetables cost more than the fish and the beer and the ale combined.
Party sheet.
They don't really have vegetables here. You do get the sense that there's probably a lot of the people in that pub that have scurvy. Probably a lot of people in that pub have scurvy.
Where should I throw it, Cade?
Where should you throw what? The money.
The food and ale. I've paid 5 gold.
Yeah. Food. I can. I mean, Are you planning on drinking it all and eating it all tonight? What are you planning on doing?
Who knows these things?
Okay.
You reckon we can get through a whole barrel of ale in one night?
I'll put.
Oh,
barrel
give it a
of
good
ale-
go.
I'll put a barrel of ale in the party sheet. And the food, you're presumably going to just cook it straight away.
Yeah.
I
Fresh,
won't
like
bother including that.
fresh food.
I will also say anything that is left in the party sheet, like in the loot thing of the party sheet, that is on the ship. Like, if you are off the ship and you're like, I really want this thing, and I'm like, it's in the party sheet, you left it on the ship, you don't have the thing. So that's how I'm... That is how I'm going to police the party sheet. There is an encumbrance. I don't follow, like, traditional encumbrance rules, because I find them incredibly boring. But I do use, like... I kind of follow the be sensible rule of, like, don't try and say that you're carrying 17 barrels of ale on your back, like a Baldur's Gate 3 character. Like, you could probably manage one at half speed. But that's just more about logic than actual encumbrance rules. Once you've purchased that, you can head straight back to the ship, or are you going to, like, do anything else in the town before heading back to the ship?
No,
No, I think that's...
there's no like libraries or anything knocking around here at all.
There is no library in this town, no.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
What is a book?
I know what books are.
Yeah, cool. Then for me to know, to go back to ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Back on the ship. About 5 or 10 minutes after the others leave, one of the dockhands pops his head over the side of the ship, and he's like, "I'm with Urud and Eret. I'm here to help unload the cargo."
I quietly whisper to Lorelei, like, "Who? Where? I don't know about this. Is this legit?"
The name
Do I know about Urud at this point?
The name Eret
I
rings a bell to you in that Eret, he was for a very long time a traveller around Troma, and then he ended up building a criminal enterprise that probably at least one of your jobs has been directly for him. Probably many in your time on a skyship has been for him in some way. So the name Eret that makes sense, kind of. 2 and 2 together. Urud, no, that's not a name that you recognise.
Right. Okay. Well, so the others aren't back yet. This is shortly after they left to the inn, wasn't it?
This is probably right about the time that they have arrived. They will have arrived at the tavern and have the brief beginning of the conversation with Garrus, and he's kind of poked his head up. Presumably, the person on the take was warned that a skyship would be turning up at some point with cargo for Urud. So they might be trying to. You get. It's very easy to read because they're quite young. You can tell that they are trying to impress their boss, like whether that is the Skydocks boss or their criminal enterprise boss doesn't really matter. They seem very eager and very keen. They don't look
Okay.
like they're the strongest young man on the planet, but they are excitable. But they're also like, I don't mind waiting. If you want to wait for your captain, I just want to get a head start. So I can just I don't want to be up until middle of the night.
Well, you know what? So the captain said that we shouldn't unload until the contact has been confirmed here, but I'm sure they'll have found the contact. So we can get prepared to unload now, but nothing leaves the ship right now until I have approval. But we can get everything sorted and like right next to the door.
All right. And he scurries off. It's like the layout of the ship is very similar to every layout of every ship that you've been on before. So you get the sense that he already kind of knows where he's going as he scurries down into the hold. Would this have been?
I keep a close follow behind him.
Would you have hidden the cargo after it was loaded, Garrus?
No, that's
Okay.
what the that's what the papers were for mainly.
Yeah. So they're sat in the middle of the cargo hold, kind of just further in than where Luna was having a nap. And he quite excitedly starts like there is strain in his face, but he is able to move each crate on his own, and he just starts like moving them up onto the deck. So that they're
I'm
ready
just
to be
sort of stood in the
unloaded.
corner watching him.
He seems very like about halfway through you can tell he's starting to be like, why the fuck did I decide to do this? And then he sort of like there's like a brief moment as he puts down one crate and you can see on his face just the face of like, do I really want to impress this guy this much? And there's like
You
a
good,
couple of
mate?
moments and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And you can just sort of see like the determination in his face switch to, yeah, I want to impress this guy that much. It's like gets back to scurrying to getting it all on the deck. And it's probably around that time that the three who went on their little escapade to the pub return. See this very keen young human, possibly half elf, far back, is like shifting the crates up onto the deck as excitedly as he can.
My ears prick up and my nose twitches immediately, and you can see my whiskers quivering as I can smell fresh fish.
It's like they're still like 2 minutes away. They haven't like gone up the spire yet, and like
But I
you're
can
just
smell
like,
it.
fish.
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 A fish has entered my detection dome. What is going on? Fish.
Like you can smell like far away fish. Like this is a fishing village. It's like on the almost completely on the ocean, far back enough that like the tide's not about to take it, but still close enough that like you can easily get to the docks. So there was a faint smell of fish, but the smell of fish is strong.
Yeah.
Now
This fish is closer than 20 meters. There
It's
is fish
approaching
in the nearby.
the
There
fish
is
is
fish.
approaching you. I just like the idea of like you're just like stood on the deck next to Lorelei, watching the little guy go like up and down and up and down, and then suddenly like one arm reaches out and like grabs Lorelei's arm, and your eyes go massive. It's like, fish.
Fish.
Like Booker's eyes when I give him catnip.
Exactly like that.
So you get up onto the ship and you see a very excited cat and a very enthusiastic young man.
Who is carrying the fish?
If
I feel like this should be a roll because I don't think any one of the three of us will have thought about
I mean,
this.
if it's Vara, Vara might get to pet.
No, I agree. I completely agree. But I don't think any of the three of us
Okay.
will have thought about who
I
is
will
carrying
roll a d3.
this. It will be completely by chance.
I'll roll a d3, and it's the order that you are on the screen. So it would be 1 is Mori, 2... Wait, no, I've got... Is that reversed? Yeah, that is the reversed. Where are you? So,
I always want to do this just because
1
Barrow
will be
not getting to pet
Quill,
the cat.
1 will be Quill, 2 will be Garrus, and 3 would be our friend. Let me get a D3. So there's number 2. Garrus is holding the fish.
I tackle him.
You tackle him. So he gets up
tackle
on the
him.
deck. He gets up on the deck. Make me... I think I'm going to go for... Make me an athletics check.
Okay, how do I do this
and-
again?
So you open up your character sheet, and then you want to go onto the second tab, which is skills.
Skills?
And then you got your athletics is a few down, but it seems to be sans
Yeah.
a number.
It does.
Oh no, I just
What? No, which one is, which stat is it based on?
dex, I think. Oh no, it's strength. Isn't it?
Okay.
Strength.
Strength. Oh, it's because
Strength.
you've got.
Is anyone here actually strong, or are we party of weaklings?
I have a solid strength of 13.
It's because
Yeah,
you
I think we're joint up at 13 here.
It's because you have
10?
Nothing in strength. That's why it's 0.
Yeah,
Because
I've rolled no, it's 11. I've got 11 in strength, so it's a 0.
But it's, yeah.
So you got plus is just a 0. So just roll the athletics. You want to grab the empty box and drag
Yeah.
it into the text box.
You can just double click it.
Or you can just double click it. And then Jay, do you want to do a acrobatics or athletics check? Up to you.
Well, an acrobatics would be better. I don't have proficiency on either of these things, but one of these is off of Dex.
just cat assault. Oh no!
Yeah.
That's
So
fine.
like you get up on the deck and like you're helped up onto the deck and you make it far enough onto the deck that you won't like the two of you won't just fly off the deck. But like and to be fair, 4'10" is still kind of comes up to like your lower chest, kind of, I imagine. So you have this tiny ball of fur just poof. You are bowled over, like you're flat on your back, and there is now a cat sitting on you, like going at the bag, like
Quivering.
fish.
Fish! Fish!
You're
I
not,
was
neither
just
of you are
distraught
injured.
at this.
Neither
I
of
was
you are
just distraught
injured,
at this,
but
like,
there
I
is
can't believe you got cat.
Give me the fish! Fish!
You bought
Get
enough-
off of me, and yeah, we've got plenty of fish.
Ignore that.
Did
You
you
can-
just shut your shadow blade, Luna?
I was saying something. Ignore that.
You
That didn't
wanna say
happen.
something? You want to say something quick? There's all of a sudden just like something just happens. All we hear is a shing.
Dead cat.
Like everything okay here.
Yeah, you are flat on your back. There is a cat sitting at your chest, pawing at your back, while everyone just watches. It seems.
It's like, Gareth, you good there?
There's plenty of fish in the bag.
Give me now!
Well, if you get off of me, I'll open the bag.
I very hurriedly like step to the side and I'm just like waiting anxiously for fish.
Okay. Right. Need to figure out how we're doing this, but yeah, I'll stand up, dust myself off, open the bag, and get a fish out.
And
I guess the
immediately
question is-
snatch it and scurry into a dark corner on the deck.
Are you having flashbacks to having to feed Booker periodically? It's like the second you arrive at the door, if you're 10 minutes late, "Rah!" Where is my food, human
He
slave?
does do that.
Anytime any of my carers come in, or anytime anyone visits and they're wearing blue, like my carers wear, he yells at them no matter what time of day it is.
Because he knows
Aw.
he can convince them to feed him again.
It's been a while since like the last time he got 3 dinners. But he did get fed. He got fed by the carer, and then by my stepdad, and then by my friend Jay, who came to feed him, who was the only person I had asked to feed him.
Perfect. No.
And he ate all the food. Like the food was continually like put into an empty bowl.
And I was like, how do I replicate this? I must keep meowing.
He's such a gremlin. He really is.
Oh,
But yeah.
so Varlik's quite distraught at all this going on. He's like, I can't believe I did. Like, I suppose it's Luna fed, but we could have at least like cooked it.
I'm like ripping in with my mouth into this raw fish.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, less cute somehow.
You finally see the saber tooth in their background.
No, it's kind of one of you know in that place it does like right now she's not cute, but in about 30 seconds when she's done and starts like cleaning the whiskers, all of a sudden 10 out of 10 cute again.
We should probably put the bag of fish somewhere.
I start eyeing the
Yeah.
bag of fish for more fish.
Like
Put it in
Yeah.
a locked cupboard.
Just from a
Exactly.
distance now, because I'm not that hungry, but I want the fish.
It's like having
It's not
to
going to be possible to hide this. It smells of fish.
put it in a locked
So,
cupboard. Like I have
like,
to put-
We could put it in a locked cupboard. We could see whether that works.
Unfortunately, you
through
do
some
have
of
the
the,
downside of Luna having opposable thumbs, which thankfully Booker does not have.
see, here's what we do. We
Yeah.
hide it throughout the ship in some of the secret holds, and we use it as an enrichment exercise for Luna.
You just want to make sure. You want to make sure she definitely gets all of them.
Because if one of them stays
But-
out for too long.
Some harpies attack and someone hops into a hole to hide, and they're like, "Oh my god, I might die from the smell of this rotten fish." It's like, oh no, we haven't been encouraging Luna to do her enrichment.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
Moving on from
this
this cat.
chap who's about our ship?
He has just been. He's still going. He's just like hopping down into the hold, bringing a crate up. He looks like he is bright red. He is huffing and puffing. Like he's clearly like he is putting himself out. But he's like, no, I can do it. I can do it.
So,
If
all
I
right,
was gonna
Captain.
head over to him. If I was gonna head over to him and just be like, "Look at you, you're doing so well."
All right, Captain. I've got this little in here that's doing its best to start the unloading. Do we actually have the okay to fully unload?
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah,
And
so-
this time I'll actually start to help them unload.
So you're able to you put the cargo. There's like it's a lift operated by the sky shards, so it's kind of built into this system, and you just to go up you uncover the sky shard, and to go down you cover the sky shard up. And you're able to like load all the crates onto that. Really easy when you're all there, and it's more than just one young man who can't really carry the box on his own without.
Farrah's not helping.
That's fair.
Farrah is,
But more than
Farrah
one
is not
person.
lifting shit. To
With
be very clear,
assistance
she's gonna
from some of the crew. It goes
Garrus
reasonably
isn't going to
quickly.
help either.
like Farrah's gonna sit on the side of the ship, literally,
Yeah.
and just watch the young men and women going about and just being just like all very strong and paying very little attention to all of them, except going just like, "Look at you, you're doing so well."
So you're
Oh,
you
at least
are
has the good
able-
graces not to be around, so she can like
Yeah.
tell oh, I'm too busy doing something else, so I
Ah,
can't assist, rather than just actually sat there just watching them and still refusing.
Do you play Dragon Chess, Farah?
I can certainly play Dragon Chess. Not proficient, but I know the game.
You're going to be playing a
Oh.
game of Dragon Chess.
Yeah.
Happily play a game of Dragon Chess on the side, just.
Okay. So the two of you are playing Dragon Chess. You're welcome to have a roll off if you want.
Oh yes.
It'll be an intelligence check. Jay gets proficiency because he is proficient in that. I do like the cool new
Mhm.
dice. It's not your best game, Garrus, and you get the feeling that you win more because Vara is so bad. Like, you make so many mistakes that, like, if it had been a normal game with someone that was also well trained in it, you'd be like, I would have lost this game. But you win
Mhm.
because Vara is just that bad.
Vara agonizes over all of the moves, by the way. Like, she's not fast.
That's fine. We're killing time.
Like pick
Slow
up
and
everything.
bad. But everything gets unloaded, and probably just as everything is finally unloaded, Red does turn up up at the sky docks and comes up in the lift, and comes and joins you. Comes to the edge of the dock and is like, permission to come aboard.
Right, yes. Please do.
And he comes over and he has with him a box which is completely it's a completely solid box, and you recognise it as one of the boxes used to transport sky shards, so they're not exposed to the sunlight, so they don't lose their stuff, and it's enough to get you at least a full journey. There is still some charge left in your sky crystals because you still have a range of about 5 miles. But most people would say the logical thing is to change in the new crystals, and then if you have a short journey, using the older crystals, so you don't have to change while you're in midair, which is doable. It's not
This sounds a little
advisable.
sketchy.
It's not advisable, but it is doable.
I have a feeling we do not have the skills and familiarity with skyships required to make such a delicate operation successfully at this time without significant risk.
Most of the ships that are designed for long distance travel, so would need to change on the fly, have 2 separate crystal cages. So they're able to have one on the go and switch it out without it impacting the flying. That would be a substantial overhaul for your ship, but one that could be done. It's just in the, like, several thousand, if not several tens of thousands of gold at this stage.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing that.
But he provides you with that, and he also provides you with a bag that has 200 gold in it as a tip to say thank you. I'll put that in the party sheet. And so the boxes, the crates have all been unloaded. He is giving you your crystals. He goes, we'll start. Did you agree to the merchandise moving to Exton?
Yeah.
Is that something you're...
Yeah, I think we can do that.
I'll get the lads to start loading it up then. And there aren't as many crates. They are a kind of reddish, and they do just have like an exclamation mark scored into them. As a kind of a very rudimentary. It's a this shit is dangerous, but we also don't want to just put on the outside that it's a fucking like it's explosives, because they'll definitely get investigated.
It's red and it's got an exclamation mark on it. It is exactly what you would see in a first-person shooter and think,
Yes,
that will explode when I shoot at it.
Thankfully,
we put this all in one room and call it the Red Barrel Room.
Thankfully, the Admiralty, they don't play first-person shooters because they haven't been invented yet. So could be anything in those boxes. But they are loaded on, and they are specifically loaded into the secret nooks and crannies. As people really do not like the transportation of explosives. And you will have to go through customs at Exton. Like, that's something you would already know about, Garrus, that like customs at Exton is pretty rudimentary. there is usually a certain amount of tax, but that is things can be covered, and Ored explains that the person who is expecting this delivery will be covering the tax payment and will be paying you when you arrive.
Plus, this is a legitimate thing. There is no need for any kind of cover. So
no,
the difficulty is the cargo itself.
Yes, definitely. So you everything's packed away nicely, and he brings in a couple of additional crates. One which has kind of dried. It's basically got like ration packs of like muesli and stuff, and like nuts and like things that last for a very long time. And one box that has very detailed carved spoons. And it's just basically like, look, we ended up with this merchandise, it can be your cover. It's like that is what you are formally transporting to Exton. Some very a popular new brand of like muesli with nuts and dried fruits. And
Fancy spoons.
the fancy wooden spoons.
Wait. Do we need to cover with the? I thought the explosives job was legit.
The explosives job is. It's not that the explosives themselves have not been stolen.
Yeah.
Exton would be perplexed, I would say, if you turned up to Exton and went through customs in a skyship with nothing in your hold. They don't. It's the transportation of explosives into Exton that there are some concerns.
Okay. But we do need to cover then. That's fine.
But it's provided, and if you can, once the job is done, it says do what you want. You can sell them yourselves, but as long as you keep them in your hold for the journey, so you haven't got just an empty skyship flying into Exton with no dwarves on your crew, which would definitely confuse them a little bit, unless it was literally just for a refueling. The unloading of goods is the thing that they keep an eye on, which is what you'd be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
while we're there, I'm kind of thinking like there's a thing with these boxes for the sky crystals is no one looks in them because you shouldn't open a box of sky crystals. They'll
start to degrade.
It might be a good idea to pick up a load of empty boxes at some point.
Not a bad idea.
Anyway, we can think about that when we get there.
It would also, if you were ever flying into, say, Shura, or any of the towns or cities near Shura, they would certainly be like, why are you bringing sky crystals to the place that we make sky crystals? So it would be slightly situational. But anywhere outside of Shura,
well, then
you're fine.
In Shura, we would say they were empty sky crystal boxes.
Yeah.
Ready to be filled up. That's fair. Okay. So
This is an excellent cover. I'm loving the idea. Now, this mastermind knows what they're doing.
So is there anything that any of you wanted to do that evening on or off the ship?
Not off the ship. On the ship, Farah is definitely wanting to try and get some group time for the crew, because she's just like, we should come together. We should have a little bit of an actual get together, because Garrus is this is she's done this before with Garrus, but basically just it's a crew. His crews have been done, like things have been done that she's been around. And she's like, yeah, we should get to know a little better and have a meal and relax.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about the other job.
Yeah. Although Garrus won't tell anyone about other jobs because he forgets.
forgets that one of those situations where he's so into the plan that he's forgotten he's said none of it out loud.
Yeah, it's all in his head. None of it's out loud.
Perfect plan. 100%
you could-
perfect, infallible plan. No one else knows it because you just thought you.
You
told
could think
them.
what you like there. If Garrus hasn't told you the plan, that's probably part of the plan.
I think, like-
clocked this, and she makes sure she's doing it down. You should tell us the plan now.
So, are you going to try and ask all of the crew members if any of them can cook? Is that stage 2?
That's
a
that's
good
stage
idea, yeah.
1.5. 1.5 is going like, we have some food. Me and Gareth and Quill worked out. None of us know how to cook it. Does anyone else know how to cook?
I can cook fish on a spit roast on an open pit fire. Fish? Anyone?
No open fires on the ship.
Oh,
It is
That's
made
good
almost
rule.
entirely
Yeah.
of wood.
With explosives on here, absolutely.
Yeah, that is the other thing. So we all know where the explosives are and not to touch them, right?
Wait, those are explosives.
really?
Yeah,
Do you have
they're
explosives on the ship?
explosives.
No.
Do not touch them.
Fire. Fire.
No. If
No.
okay,
No.
right.
Pretty.
If you touch the explosives or cause fire on the ship, then there won't be a ship.
Ah,
I would be like us either.
I hadn't considered
explosive.
it.
Yeah.
I want to know what Luna's intelligence is right now.
I need to check it myself just so that I'm playing accurately.
It's not that bad.
It's
I
freaking
don't-
16.
Wait, it's the
wisdom
wisdom
is
low.
only
It's the
9.
wisdom low.
Wisdom is only 9.
Oh, I was like, no explosions to Big Boom. Had not put
In-
together. I'm on the ship. Big Boom on ship. Bad times.
But
Well, they know,
food.
like,
Particularly when
yeah.
you're in the air.
so they know they can explode, but they also have the wisdom to realise, oh, that's a bad idea.
So Laurie, can you cook? You seem like the sort that knows how to do.
I've tried it once or twice. It was meh.
Uh-oh.
Do we try Talia? Like she peers down into the hole to see if Talia's like anywhere around. It's like, Talia, do you know how to cook?
It'll take a moment to sort of come upstairs, then depends what.
Fish?
Fish?
Or anything else
Food.
but fish?
Did someone say
I mean,
fish?
we got some fish. We got some nice vegetables. I've got a whole barrel of ale. That helps.
Make a stew.
That sounds good.
Fish?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, Talia is now ship's cook.
I did love the idea that the first member of crew that you would have had, NPC crew that you'd had to bring on would be a cook.
I just
Like, I would
want
really
this
enjoy
roll
that.
now for how this cooking is going to go, and we all get food poisoning.
I'll say make me an intelligence roll. We'll go with intelligence.
You should be honest on this.
It is edible. It will not kill you.
Hooray.
It
Yay,
is
the bare minimum.
like it goes
Harry has
from
made the decision not to add 2 gallons of vinegar to the stew to fill it out.
I'd say it's reasonably bland because while you bought vegetables and fish, you did not buy any herbs or spices. So the fish and the vegetables are nice. It's just wet fish and vegetables.
Luna is ignoring the vegetables entirely and just eating the bits of fish.
Legit. It is like the thing you could see like this is like edible. It would taste so much better if we'd thought of more than just fish and vegetables.
Yep.
But
We can't cook.
But
Why would we have thought of that?
Yeah. But it's fine. It's better than like a ration. It's better than a ration pack. And maybe next time you go into a town where there are shops, you could buy a cooking set.
We don't need a cooking set. Talia can just make one.
There's like...
Talia probably has...
Talia can't
part of
invent...
cooking is probably made big thing.
Talia can't invent onion salt. Like...
No.
That's not how artificer works. That's what I meant by like
cooking tools.
No,
Like,
I can get the tools to cook. It's just I'm using whatever we've got, and whatever you've got is what you've chosen. If you pick bad ingredients, she's not care. She's just gonna still throw them in. You come back and told her you've got like, a ton of onions, she would have just made an onion stew. It was, there's one thing she knows how to make.
stew. All of your food is stew. I like the idea that if they brought back loads of fruit and you'd have been like fruit stew. Fruit stew, everything gets put in a stew. Everything, absolutely everything, straight in a stew. Jobs are good.
I'm seeing this becoming a thing. But yes. So over food.
Yeah, you have like the cabin with the kind of little the cooking area in a small pantry has a table big enough for the six of you to sit around it while you're eating and have that communal meal.
Luna shyly offers a bowl of all vegetable, no fish stew remnants to Garrus and quietly mumbles something about being sorry for tackling him. Would you like the rest of this vegetable stew?
I'm alright, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. There's no rule about eating your vegetables on this ship, so don't worry. It's probably good for you if you do, but you don't have to.
Luna then turns to Vara and is quietly like, "Do you want vegetable stew?"
But Farrell looked at it and goes like, no, I couldn't. And you notice her bowl is still a third full.
Luna then quietly turns to Lorelei and goes, "Do you want the vegetable stew?"
Lorelei?
Lorelei? Gigi,
Sorry, what? What just happened?
I offered you the remnants of my fish and vegetable stew that has had all the fish taken and none of the vegetables eaten.
It's gone from Garrett to me to now to you.
You know what? I've had worse. I'll take it.
I released the bowl.
Like you can tell who's been brought up in the fancy circles by the ones going. And the ones that are like, I've been on a ship for a long time.
I've had much worse than this. You gotta eat what you can sometimes.
Well,
yeah.
I would say this is not one of those times, but you do you.
But yeah, so Farah's gonna try and like get people talking about past adventures and how they met Garrus and just kind of get some camaraderie going between the group and get people chatting. That's her goal.
Silence falls.
Silence falls upon the group. No one wishes to
See,
offer
two
stories
separate
to how...
things.
Go on then. How did Quill come to meet Garrus? What's the...
We've worked together before. I'm also looking for things, I guess, information of like a history. So we've worked together on stuff, been covering stuff like that before. I'm looking for more stuff on like I guess ancient kind of history, I guess. But sometimes while plans align, so we have to work together and figure stuff out if we need to.
Right,
Never gone wrong.
Just saying, Quill. When I track things far back enough, it'll be about 700 years ago. That's sort of where the sweet spot is. But it's you got to dig up quite a bit before we get there.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Although I'm happy to do it. It's actually quite interesting, really.
you're looking the blade singer stuff. You're looking at like pre-crisis, so over 1,200 years
Yeah.
ago.
A little more digging to go than that.
Don't worry, Varys is longer than that, I think, if I remember the timeline correctly.
It's around the same.
Yeah.
Little bit longer, but not by much.
How did you come to get Talia in your circle of companions, Garrus?
Well, that would be the same contact who got us this first job and the the skyship, essentially.
Mutual acquaintance.
Put me in touch, basically.
You've never worked with him before?
No.
Oh.
This would be the first time I've been on a Sky. I think it's the first time I've been on a Sky ship.
I won't say anything more. Don't worry, Garrus,
probably note
I
that
don't know any of your...
Talia appears to be drinking wine rather than the ale. But...
I
quite happily drinking ale.
I mean, ultimately, the kind of skill set for operating some of the kit on here is not typical to most of our lines of work.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I could sing the rafters quite as well.
We needed a specialist.
Particularly large lungs, you know, if you could theoretically come up with a system where you could sing and to manipulate the sails, although it would be a bit difficult. The problem is, probably could quite easily be messed with.
I might keep that in mind. That sounds interesting. What about was it just Lorelei, Captain Lorelei, Lieutenant Lorelei? I suppose Lieutenant Lorelei now. Got a new captain.
Oh, I've done a few jobs involving Darius's old operations before. Never really been particularly privy to their mastermind operations, but I've done a few jobs for them before. I get the impression that there's quite a lot of old people around here. Like, I'm not used to being around so many other elves all the time. I feel like there's quite a lot of history that we all might know about.
Yeah.
Definitely about
Like-
dramatically
like-
differing perspectives.
Yeah. So I'm Lorelei, and I'm 300 years old.
I have to quietly open up the thing because there's gonna this.
Elves live up to 750 years old.
That's fine. Well, but I suppose I should give you my full name. Farathan Despan. 212. I'm quite young, I know. Just gonna quietly throw a deception roll in here.
Make me anyone that is listening that would like to make me an insight check, please.
How do I insight?
Sure, why not?
There'll be a skill of insight. I do like
God, I'm
that
rolling so
everyone
good
has
today.
Everyone's gone for cool dice.
So many people.
So everyone except Lorelei know that you are bullshitting about something. And I will say, Garrus, you know that she's lying about something. The rest of you are like, that is a bullshit age. That is a lie. You are lying. How old are you? But to Lorelei, yeah, 212 seems reasonable.
You don't look a day over 200.
Oh, well, thank you so much for saying, Garrus.
That's 200 years ago, so you must have been born during the
I think you
can I
missed
get-
that
can I
roll.
get-
I think you may have missed that roll.
Jay, can I give you inspiration? Because that was lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, you could have just signed the natural one, but incredible.
Just beautiful. I will give you your inspiration. There you go.
Oh, perfect.
You know for a fact. You know, I'm not gonna even make you roll. You know for a fact that Gary saying you don't look a day over 200 is it's not just a lie, it's a bad lie. Like, he can't keep from smiling as he says it. And he sniggers when he said it.
It changes none of her responses. She's sort of like, "Oh, thank you, Gareth. Thank you so much."
Nastiness going around. There's some
Trying not to
deception
say
here.
daggers at him. She's just like, "Stop being a fuck."
Oh, I need to clip that. I have to clip that moment.
Oh,
And of course it was a nat one.
oh fuck. Oh. Sorry, George. What did you say?
Well, you being 200 would mean that you probably don't remember the Dark Queen's invasion or the God's War.
Oh, I need to remember my history because I'm certain both of those within the last 200 years.
The God's War was 150
God's War definitely not.
years. The God's War was 150 years ago, so you would have been like in your early 50s during it. And then the Darkling Queen's invasion was about, I think it was about 140. No, 100. It
1034. 250 years since then, yeah.
Did. It's fine. Also, I think Katie, your mic has gone wonky.
It had a moment.
I wouldn't remember much. It's like because technically that wouldn't be true. Well, I hope that's not true for her interest. Oh no. I knew something had gone wonk.
Oh, we've lost Jay.
I'm here.
No, Jay's there.
Oh.
DM.
Hey,